All right. So invitation to core self. I'm going to start over.
That's right. That's right.
Invitation to know the core self. Oh, yeah. I love that one. Adriana,
Yeah.
tell us more about that.
Okay. Well, we've created a process, Paul and I, because what we found is that in our conversations with folks from all over the world, it doesn't matter where people live, folks don't give themselves the permission to really dive into the core self. And this happens because we become socialized not to go too deep, not to venture too deeply inward, because our social, what's the word I'm looking for? Our social agreements get rattled when we do that.
Yeah.
So our body of work is that invitation. And that can happen. It usually happens in an ideal way when we host some kind of gathering, but of course through one-on-one coaching as well, because folks don't have permission from their families oftentimes. Even at that level, they don't feel justified in taking the time that they need to go inward.
Right.
So we provide that permission in different kinds
Oh, you just went out. You're frozen.
of
So
conversation.
start. Okay, you
I
froze
love it when
any of it. Okay. So
say that last part again, honey.
yeah, you froze up, so I didn't get
Okay.
very much. So
Okay.
if you can start with when we have that permission, that's where you got all blurry. Can you go
Okay.
back to that?
Okay. So when we have that permission to go inward, it may rattle our agreements, but my favorite way to be able to get folks to focus and feel justified in using that inward journey is perhaps in a gathering where we can sit down and really hash things out. And also, there's a new community around this concept. And folks do need permission nowadays because of the pace of life that we live.
Oh, you froze again.
Okay, do you get me now?
Yeah, so it start with we do need permission.
Okay. Yes, this journey, I think, is one of the most difficult journeys that we give focus to, but it's one of the most rewarding that we do our whole life through. At this point, when I look around and the pace of life, just your average mom that's chasing her kids around and just running from pillar to post is going to find it very difficult to take time out for herself. So this invitation offers her the privacy and offers her the dialogue that she needs and offers her the support that she needs and the point of focus to be able to look at what it is she's intending to create in this life, what her priorities are, and of course begin the work of looking at those strongest, deepest wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a journey that can be done overnight. Um, while it can be initiated in a gathering, it can take months and perhaps even longer. And it is a work worth returning to throughout our lives.
Yep.
But actually, one of the benefits of doing this process, which is it's very cathartic, is that eventually we get to a point where, because we've been able to sit with our wounds and the deepest hurts that we carry inside, we're able to translate those wounds into values.
I love that part. Tell me more.
That is a work that few people do, and I've even found this within communities where they've done, folks go through extensive therapy, but never reach a point where the word that comes to mind is transmutation, really, because the pain of our wounds can be transmuted into values if we allow ourselves the time to do that. And so for me, for example, in the brokenness of my family and the dysfunction, when I look back, and the pain that brought into my life, I have to tell you, one of the most important things that I've come to that I value is connection and support. So in my inner circle, and I wouldn't have valued that so much. I probably would have been more carefree and lackadaisical about my connections to others. But what this has done for me is it's allowed me to be far more present to even casual conversations, even, going to the grocery store, which I'm getting ready to do later today, and brief interactions. I constantly remind myself life is very short, and just brushing past an individual, it's so important, even in those times, even those occasions, to really be fully present, because you never know what someone's going through.
Never. And one little word can shift someone from stepping off a cliff. It's so amazing to hear the
Sometimes it's
feedback.
just like that. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And, give what you choose to receive, because it's, always nice to get somebody to smile at you, and
That's
it can really light up your day or your moment. So that's so cool.
Mhm.
I love that. Yeah, and in kind of like a relationship marketing terms, give eye contact. If you get eye contact back, give a smile. If you give a smile back, see, we think we are going to be too intrusive, so just kind of like stay in your own little world. No, just
Mhm.
make eye contact. And if you get it back, do the smile. And if you get a smile back, then maybe there's something, a compliment or whatever, and just take it as it comes, because every little situation is different, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, that really rings true, because as a former New Yorker of 30 plus years, I've had my times of being in public transportation, and you get tested. Do you show up? Are you present for real? Because that will mean eye contact in an environment where everyone else avoids it.
Yes, right?
That's a great example. Yeah, yeah.
Or you come from Minnesota like me, and like it's just a fake face. Everyone's got a
Yeah,
fake
that's
face.
right. That's right. Or fake conversation. I mean, this has
Yeah.
happened a lot. I remember it when I lived in suburbia. Go to the grocery store, and when someone asks you how you are, it's that fake conversation in the back pocket that you offer
Yeah,
instead
absolutely.
of what really you are.
Well, when my mom got a job, she was a florist in a grocery store in the suburbs, right? And it was
Mhm.
all fake and phony and no eye contact. Then she got transferred to more of an inner city, kind of borderline the inner city. The kids would be out in bare feet in the snow, and people would be chained to the produce thing till the cops came to pick them up, right? And oh my gosh, and I ended up working there too. And it was like the best thing that ever happened to both of
Mhm.
our lives, because we could really have a deeper uh, heart, a
Yeah.
deeper meaning. I'm gonna cry for for all people. And the most beautiful things would transpire, like somebody just used up the rest of their food stamps and just didn't have any left over, and handed my mom or I an apple or whatever,
Yeah.
because I couldn't get it, and the person behind them paid for it, and
Mm.
they didn't have it either. the thing is, they didn't have it either. And it reminds me of the missionary stories of like going to a tribe with like this tribe was starving and they had like one grapefruit left in the tribe or something, and they was it like Kenya or something. Anyways, they gave it to them. I don't know if grapefruits grow in Kenya. It was so humbling, you know. They were being honored, and the last thing they could do is say, "Yeah, no, you guys eat it." You know?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, right?
absolutely, absolutely. But that's the important work of um, facing our wounds, is that we honor them rather than we traditionally we were taught to be ashamed of our wounds and to hide them away. And it's very common in today's world to, put up our best face forward, and that's what the whole selfie culture is all about. But in sitting with our wounds and facing them, it gives us a chance to honor the journeys that we've been through and to honor those stories, and we lend dignity to those experiences, and that's how we get to turn those into values.
Mhm.
That's how that extra mile, going that extra mile, really I think for me has reinforced what it is that I value. And then that's the alignment piece where I get to choose, is this what my life is about versus is my life about the wound?
Yep.
It's such an important stage in the journey to not identify with the wounds, but instead take what's valuable that's come
Mhm.
out of that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Even chatting it out, you know, with another person or whatever, and capturing it into a book, or just making vulnerable Facebook posts. That's the gold that, you know, heals the world, right? So
that's right.
whatever you're working through and whatever of it you're able to
Hmm.
share in the moment is precious and priceless to others.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Adriana.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure.